Thank you for joining us. This is the very first episode of Naponee 2night on Naponee 2 News. This is Kirk Downey, and thank you once again for tuning in. What exactly is Naponee Tonight? Well, that will be our evening featured show that you can tune in and more of an editorial opinion piece, kind of a lowdown, basically Naponee 2 News. So the first thing I want to say is that tonight's topic on Naponee Tonight is going to be Naponee 2 News. It's the most recent development that we have going on in this studio for sure. So I want to say thank you for everyone who has initially supported Naponee 2 News on both YouTube and Facebook. So what is Naponee 2 News? Well, to go back a little bit, I'd always said that down here in South Central Nebraska, and it's beautiful down here in South Central Nebraska with beautiful people for sure that are doing a lot of interesting things. We're down by the lake. There's just all sorts of different things going on. It's like a whole nother world compared to some other places, and it's just great. And the things that do inspire me the most is a lot of people's small businesses and crafts and hobbies and things that they do. So I always had it in my mind that I wanted to create something out of Naponee. So Naponee 2 News, kind of the idea of Naponee 2 was if you get onto the spur coming into Naponee, you see that sign, and even out on the highway, it says Naponee 2, like 2 miles in, and that's pretty much what lets people know that we're here. But I like the whole concept of Naponee 2, so I just went with that. So, once again, thank you for joining me. Hopefully, since it's March 27th, 2024, that March 27th, 2025 will have come a long way. Right now, I'm filming on a Canon EOS R7 with a Rode shotgun mic. Filming this in 1080p just keeps the information quicker to transmit and so on and so forth. So, also, what I wanted to kind of bring up tonight is what can Naponee 2 News do for you? So back to talking about how so many people are doing interesting things around here. Naponee 2 News wants to promote you. We want to do budget advertising. So I've already put up some examples of some budget advertising, and everyone that was fortunate enough to have those examples got that for free so that I can, show you, kind of give you a taste of what we can offer. The genre, the primary genre, I should say, for advertising on Naponee 2 News is going to be stop motion animation. So when we really get involved in an advert, it will be along the stop motion animation genre, and the primary focus within that genre that I want to incorporate in is the use of business cards. So if you have a business card or a brand label, something like that, and you want to get that to me, want to get that to the station so that we can incorporate some sort of stop motion animation, put some music and things of that nature using the information that you already are comfortable putting out there. So on your business card, if we'll take Gage's business card again right here and put that on there. So, and thank you to these guys for allowing us to use them as a good example. And I kind of touched that down on my little metal project, but I'll bring it in because of it. Now, this is something I bought at Dollar General, I think in Franklin. But if you were someone that had a business that made a small little craft or something like that, like metalworking, then definitely, I've used this in videos before. If you were someone that did seeds, like seed packaging, or if you made homemade soap, that would be great to use, something like that. If you were in position where you just got done canning organic vegetables and you wanted to promote that, that would be good to incorporate in. Anything that maybe we can get into the studio here. Like to do a lot of things on the oak desk and in the small studio here to keep things on the low, the budget advertising, because advertising can be expensive. Promotion can be expensive. You either have to, even if you had the money, it can be expensive to go to whoever's doing it. So having a little bit of an element down here, smack in between Alma and Franklin and right next to the lake for sure. So here's another example of what I'm talking about that I've done in some previous clips. If you got woodworking, of course I bought these, but this is just a good idea of what you can do. Another thing would be if you had like a flyer for like a wedding, a garage sale, any kind of event going on. Those are kind of easy to do. If you want to see a whole platform and portfolio of what I can pull off, that was pretty much the idea of the Big Red Ghost YouTube channel. For the last year and longer, I've been focusing on stop motion animation on Big Red Ghost YouTube channel, and I used sports cards for my practice, actually. And sports cards are kind of fun, but they're really not much bigger than a business card, and they're not much business card or something of size like that, or a flyer. So it gives you an idea of what you can do with an announcement or a business card. So I just kept focusing on the sports cards, and then I felt like once I got to the point where I could start telling people, yeah, I can start doing productions on the cheap of stop motion animation with your business cards or any other kind of elements that works within that genre. I mean, there's quite a bit of bigger stuff that we could actually put into studio here, but chances are you'd feel a lot more comfortable since you're already handing them out with your business card or your flyer, or if you make homemade soap or something like that, to allow me to use that product in the stop motion animation, and then we can upload it to YouTube or Facebook. Now the rates to keep things budget advertising. So I'd always said you shouldn't have to spend hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, to advertise your product, right? I mean, that kind of prevents you from doing it. A lot of people do great, amazing stuff. I know some people that can make some homemade stuff that I've tried. It's the best stuff I've ever had, but it doesn't seem to be super promoted, whether they're not much of a promoter or if they just don't want to spend the money. You can only get so limited on just taking photos or trying to do your Facebook page, so on and so forth. That's why, like I said, I want to incorporate in Naponee 2 News. So that's the advertising side of things. Typically with stop motion animation, to keep it cheap, stop motion animation, don't get me wrong, it takes a while to do that. 30 seconds can take me hours to do. 60 seconds might take me an entire evening. If you go beyond that, it might take me days to do. But to keep it on a budget advertising element, especially here in 2024, while Naponee 2 News is growing organically, the business model is $1 per second. So if you wanted a 30-second clip of a stop motion animation using your business card, put to music, the music we're going to do keep costs down is royalty-free music. There's a treasure trove of royalty-free music that can be pulled off the YouTube library, so we can upload it to YouTube. No copyright issues, no flags or anything like that. Generally, if you use YouTube library royalty-free music, you can put it on Facebook. Sometimes Meta will say that the music won't be used in all sorts of every country, because obviously this is global, every country where there might be restrictions on that music. But generally, if you are using royalty-free YouTube music out of the YouTube library, you're good for, I think you're pretty much good for the Western Hemisphere. And so, you know, that will probably get you covered there. So that's a little bit on the advertising side of things. I know people that know me well. I've been trying to hit them up even for free if they have a business card, so that we can get more examples in here. We are getting to the point now where we want to kind of roll into the business model of $1 per second. With that, especially with these stop motion animation. We can do other things as far as, you know, just filming clips. Like we had the one recently of someone offering horse riding lessons. So we have her riding her horse and we put that to good music. I thought that worked really well. So I'm not opposed to any kind of that. And we can always talk about the rates for that, but I definitely want to keep things on the cheap, on the budget advertising. As far as featured stories for Naponee 2 News, I want to keep things, for lack of a better term, alternative. I don't want to get down with national news talking about politics or race or religion or relationships. Those are kind of key hot topic issues. I understand why journalism does it, because it provides an emotional spark and it keeps people engaged, and so people kind of follow that. I get that. It really is something why a lot of people will even step outside of journalism, because they're handcuffed a little to politics, race, religion, and relationships, and they want to do other kind of featured stories. So down here, featuring a business, featuring your crafts, your hobbies, anything going on that you want announcements for. But the great example that I kept thinking of, I would love for someone to contact me and say, hey, get over here, my cat just had 8 kittens, like 8 kittens. Or 3 or 4 or whatever, but just, you know, something like that. Or if somebody has, just anything unique going on down here. Craft shows for sure. Any kind of bigger events going on down here. Like it's really cool. Franklin County and definitely Harlan County are really cool because of the Harlan County Reservoir. We're kind of removed away from major hub type cities. So because of that, it has its own kind of unique, awesome, exciting anthropology. So once again, thank you for all the initial support for Naponee 2 News. And so this was the first episode of Naponee 2night. And like I said, anyone that wants to contact me so we can incorporate some ads, or if you have some featured stories, feel free to do that. And we'll leave it at that. We're going to try to improve on our set for the next episodes of Naponee 2night, but definitely thank you, and you've just had the privilege of enjoying the first episode of Naponee 2night. So thank you, and have a good evening.